And we have a go for auto sequence start. T-minus 17 seconds and countdown. All systems are go. Command start. 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
It's time to charge up with Victor Pisano.
Hey everybody, it's Victor Pisano, and welcome to another edition of the Powercast from Charge Up. Just in case we have some new listeners out there, Charge Up is your one-stop for all things leadership. My hope is that we offer fresh, inspiring, and actionable insights to the challenges and the rewards of real leadership in the real world. So today I want to talk about something that I call the myth of vertical leadership. All of us have seen a hierarchy chart, and we know they're common in pretty much every office or organization that we've been around. It's a simple tool used to distinguish the position and usually chain of command. I tend to be a little competitive, so I look at it like the path to the top and who I've got to beat out to make it into the starting lineup. So while I understand there's a necessity to the chart, my question is, does it establish a realistic and fair representation of how leadership works? Okay, so let's go back to that myth that I call vertical leadership. The chain of leadership is considered vertical, obviously, because of its direction. You're not going to see a hierarchy chart where the president, CEO are on the bottom of the chart. It doesn't work that way. As the saying goes, one has to climb the ladder to success. But is that really necessary? I'm going to give you a question, and I want you to think outside the box on this one. In your opinion, is success only achieved vertically? My point being, why does one have to correlate the process of moving up the chain of command with being an effective and successful leader? We all know people without an executive title who have been extremely successful. It goes back to a lot of the discussion that we're having regarding leadership. First and foremost, why does leadership have to be associated with a title? I think we, as a society, have to move away from that and promote the ability that you have the opportunity to expose leadership in all roles. For example, does the vice president of a division and the vice president only deserve all the credit for a successful initiative? What about their team? Were they effective? Obviously. Were they productive? Obviously. So the results of the team were an outcome of that initiative and their hard work and perseverance, as well as the respective vice president's ability to empower, lead, and inspire. So with that comes a shared credit for the achievement. There were probably numerous instances within that example where people contributed their leadership skills and should be recognized for that. So here comes my point. Why do we pressure those who are extremely successful in an existing role to move up the proverbial ladder to success? Why do we continue to buy in and invest in performance consultants that continually stress the importance of the pathways to advancement? Why do we continually push employees to participate in job rotations where we think they'd be successful without really having an honest dialogue with them? For example, some will tell you that a successful salesperson will lose their passion and challenge if left in the same role for too long. So when you find one that's been there for many years, you're supposed to promote them or possibly risk losing them to the competition for lack of advancement. Although I agree to an extent with the logic, and I do so with one caveat. Are they being promoted on their own free will or as a result of the pressures of management and job security? In other words, are we really listening to them, both verbally and non-verbally, or are we making assumptions? Each year during reviews with most companies, we ask our employees the same questions. Where do you see yourself a year from now? What are your goals? What career path do you see yourself on? Do you notice with each of these questions, they almost are persuasive in their delivery? Those being reviewed have no other option without putting themselves in a vulnerable position than not to be completely truthful. Would it be too far-fetched to believe that there are actually some people who find their current role to be extremely challenging, rewarding, something that they want to continue to pursue for years to come? Would that be the wrong answer to their superior if they'd asked that question about advancement? Would that leader walk away from the discussion and come to the conclusion that the employee lacks the passion for advancement or to take on new challenges? In other words, will they deem them as stagnant and in a comfort zone? I've seen too many times where a company puts some of the best salespeople into management positions, and that comes based off their record of achievements. What happens? They crash and they burn. The assumption was, because they were successful in their sales role, then they will have the ability to teach others those skills and empower the team to be just like them as a leader. The problem with that? It's an assumption. Not everybody has the skill, much less the desire to lead a team. And I'm not being disrespectful. It's an honest statement. You see, their success comes from their ability to lead themselves. They have a unique gift. and they challenge themselves to grow in their existing role every day. If you really know the people you lead, you should know this because of the relationship you've already established with your key staff. Success doesn't come from the upward steps. It comes from the small steps forward. Each of those small steps forward are going to result in amazing things. In other words, you don't have to aim for the clouds if you want to be a successful leader. Just keep moving forward and stop worrying about vertical movement. It's my opinion that if we focus less on the discussions of moving vertically as opposed to moving forward, we're going to develop better leaders, we're going to have better rapport, and more importantly, we're going to earn more trust and empowerment through the process of simple communication about people's goals and their purpose and how they can contribute to the overall success of a company. So with that, always remember, leadership is a privilege. You want to learn more? Go to chargeuptoday.com. That's chargeuptoday.com. Be sure and check out more of our Charge Up content while you're there, and we also got you covered all over social media. I do have a favor. It'd mean the world to me if you'd like or share this podcast if you happen to be on social media right now. The goal is to grow my community in an effort to make a real impact and assist others in the change and perspective. So on behalf of all of us at Charge Up, we sincerely thank you for listening. And as always, I'm humbled to lead. Have a great week, and you know what's coming next, my friends. Charge up.
Roger, we'll stop. That was a picture-perfect end to a top-fuel mission. Everybody, welcome back to Earth.
Thanks for listening to Charge Up with Victor Pisano. Subscribe to the podcast at chargeuptoday.com.